Thank you so much, Andrew. Hello, everyone. Thanks for having me and tuning in to check this out. This is a weird one. So I'm just gonna say, like at the beginning of this, there be monsters, and we're gonna fight them off. It's gonna be great because this is talking about creating social games, but in a way that you play them on Discord, Slack, and other types of communication apps. So who am I? I'm Timothy Johnson. I'm the CTO at Gallium Studios. We'll just jump right into the There we are. Who is this now? So I'm the CTO of Gallium Studios. That is Will Wright Studio, as Andrew said. I work with Will Wright and Lauren Elliott and a whole bunch of incredibly creative people making a game called Proxy. But I'm not talking about Proxy today. I'm not even talking about Gallium today. I'm talking about my own deal. Previously, I've worked for made games for Cartoon Network and PBS and Nickelodeon. I was a technical director at WB Games San Francisco for many years. Making all sorts of cool games, and now doing it at Gallium. But now we're going to talk about a side project that I've got. And so what are we doing here today? I'm going to show you my side project that at the moment I'm calling Tribunal Tactics. This is a lot of programmer art's a lot better these days now that you can generate stuff via AI. So it's mostly programmer art and AI generated stuff. But we're going to talk about that. It's cool that I get to do this. Being at Gallium, Lauren and Will, they encourage creativity and side projects for everybody. It's one of the awesome perks of working there. So they've given me the full blessing to show this off to everybody and see if we can't make some cool stuff together. And the game is, Tribunal Tactics is 100% played in Discord. Okay, so this genre of games, I don't think it has a name yet. Or if it does, I just don't know it. This is a game that you play in the actual chat stream of the communication apps. So Slack, Zoom, Teams, Discord, they all work in similar ways. They're also fidgety, but you can write one game that can work on all of them. So this isn't like the Discord activity, which is when you're inside a call, you can play like a real-time game together via their like HTML5 canvas exposure. This is something else. What's cool about it is that mentions, notifications, reactions, and all the things that the communication app can do can be part of the game, as well as people are just going to do it. And then you play the game using slash commands, modals, as I said, reactions, and whatever else is kind of built into the app to play it. So why? Why would I do this? Well, that's a great question. One of the things I've been trying to tackle in my game development life, I've been doing this for over 18 years now, is trying to make the ease of getting someone into a game, getting the software delivered to them as simple and as viral and simple as possible. What's cool about this is that for 99.9% of the players, they don't even have to do anything. There's no software to install. Makes it really easy to get your players to play. You've already got a built-in player base, because if you already have a community on Discord, anyone, whoever's the admin of the server can add this to it, and everybody can start playing. It encourages community engagement, so if you are running your own community and you want people to be able to do stuff with each other, especially stuff that's kind of fun and funny, that's what this is. And then also from just my own, since I am an engineer and technical, it's very, very easy to push fixes and updates and new content and all sorts of stuff to whoever's whoever's playing your games, because this is software as a service. It's a server that you are running, and you can patch it whenever you want, and it's zero, up to you, zero downtime, zero changes that your players will have to do. Okay, so what's the tech stack? How did I do this? Since I've been stuck in Unity development world for, a decade or more, I decided to write this all in .NET 7. This is all C#. It's .NET 7 services and libraries. I wrap it all up into a Microsoft Alpine Linux container. Just build a Docker container, run it with Docker, run it with Kubernetes, run it wherever you want. And I'm using these different libraries. Some of these are open source, but they're all available, public libraries, that slip in pretty well. So discord.net for communicating to Discord, handling all the slash commands and all the reactions and all the different things that we'll get into. Skia graphics engine. This is created by Google, and Skia is really cool because it is headless graphics. You can draw and composite and do all sorts of great stuff. And they have a library. It's Google, so they publish it everywhere. So there's one for Nougat. There's one for Node.js. They've got like a bunch of React stuff. So Skia is really, really easy to use and really cool. Magic.net. I use that for the animation library for making composited animated GIFs and things like that. FFmpeg, using that to create videos and transitions and things like that. And then, of course, AWS S3 to put all this stuff. I'll show you why that I said of course here in a moment. So that's a tech stack to get started. So let's talk a little bit about architecture. How does this thing even work? So in my simple little diagram, which it really is pretty simple, you've got a Discord client, your phone, the app, via the website, however. They're going to be connected to a Discord server or multiple servers or whatever. Discord has apps. And this game is obviously an app that you're going to add to your Discord server. As the players enter slash commands and other things like that, Discord is going to receive that, and then my Discord clients on my server will get all of those just by connecting the socket up. It's a web socket that controls communication between the game server and Discord. You're going to be receiving all of this stuff, all of this information and events from different Discord servers that are running your software. So what I do is I receive a slash command. I do some game logic. So whatever they did, they're going to move, they're going to attack, they're going to do something. Once the logic is done, I respond to them right away, letting them know I got the command, start to do some stuff, and then I start to create these images. And they're all generated at runtime in memory. And then I upload that image to an S3 bucket. This could be any CDN, but I have an AWS account. And then I send back a message to Discord with that image, the URL for that image as an embedded image that will then show up. It could be a URL for audio or for a video file. Discord kind of locks down that you can't really do too much more than that. But this way you can get information and state to the players. So it's a nice little round trip here of having a client that is connected to like Discord as a whole. Discord handles funneling and routing all that traffic to you, so you don't have to worry about any of that. Okay, so let's talk about how would someone get this game or your game or whoever's game into their Discord server. So it's a bot, as I said. The person who's going to install it, the person who's going to set it up, literally just needs a URL. This URL is generated by the Discord backend. You give it to them, and in a web browser, they'll see this pop-up saying, hey, an external application wants to access your Discord account, and then what server do you want to add it to? And it will tell you the permissions. So this will add the bot, this will create commands. They normally have a silly thing at the bottom about what it cannot do. And then you hit continue, and you're done. So it's literally 2 clicks on a website, and then the bot will have access to your guild, and as soon as it receives that, it's going to start setting itself up. In this game, and probably for all future games, I ask you to create a command channel. This way, you random people on your Discord can't just start creating and closing games. You might want to lock that down to just your mods or just a couple of people. And that command channel is where the creating and saving and closing of games is going to happen. The bot setting itself up, it's going to create a custom category and a whole bunch of custom roles. We'll talk more about roles here in a second, but that's like how Discord handles permissions and who can do what. So yeah, you click 2 things, you create 1 channel, and you're ready to play. Another reason, as I said, trying to get people to install things is really hard. This only has to happen once on the Discord server. And then once it's in there, everybody can play. Well, everyone that you allow. We'll talk about that with roles and permissions. So, all right, so now you're ready to play. So how do you even start? So from that command channel from the command channel, there's for Tribunal Tactics, there's a /create-game command. When you do that, it's going to pop up a modal with some game configuration options. And once you've created the game, said OK to that, it's going to create a new channel under its category. And it's also going to create a new role with that category name. So what, by default, in admins, Discord server admins can change this. In order to not have like everybody be able to type and do / commands or whatever, this is the way to kind of lock out people who aren't in the game. Everyone can view it and they can add reactions, but they can't chat or try to mess with you while you're playing the game. So when we start to add players, there's a /add-player command. They will be given that role and instantly see the channel, be able to do all the things that they're supposed to do, use commands, chat, whatever. So I've got two graphics here of / commands available, and then those are some roles here where it says tactics. It just puts a random little 6-character hash at the end. Okay, so now let's talk about actually playing a game in Discord. Games, if you want to boil it down to its very simplest thing, you need to be able to get player input into your game. You need to be able to handle game logic and state of your game. And then you need to be able to show that state to the players. So let's talk about that first part about getting player input. How does that work? So I've already mentioned / commands. It's a really easy, straightforward way to do it. There's also modals that you can pop up. A modal can pop up in response to a message or a / command. The / commands also have options that you can put in so people can type some extra information. That's a pretty good way. In Discord, modals are crazy limited. I've actually talked to their dev team, and I don't think they're going to change it anytime soon. Slack's modals are amazing. When you build a Slack modal, you can do whatever you want. Images, drop-down menus, all sorts of stuff. In Discord, it's literally just some text fields, and that's all you get. You can also get input from message components. If you look at on the bottom right, there's from a different game I was playing around with. There was like a comment that said, "Hey, a comment's been detected." And inside the message, this is where Discord put all of their like UI tech, is into like the message itself. You can choose that drop down, and you can populate that drop down with options, and then respond. The player will respond to that, similar to the / command. So then you have to respond to it and do logic. And then the final way is that you can just literally listen to every chat message that comes in and see if the player is trying to do something. Easiest way to do that is to have like some sort of special character at the beginning, like an exclamation point or whatever, to where you could do like exclamation point save game. So this is all the ways that you can get input into the system. Okay, let's talk about, all right, game logic. I skipped that step. You guys should all know that you need to do something with whatever they said. So let's pretend the game logic is now done, but now you need to display the state. So this is done here by literally putting it into the chat stream as a message. In Discord, messages are split into a bunch of parts. There's literally the text that you can type in. In that text, you can put mentions. You can put text. There's a text-to-speech flag that you can add to it as well, and some minor formatting deals that you can do. That's text. There's another thing called embeds. Embeds are, this is an example of an embed here where it says battle phase complete. This can be a URL to some external thing. It could be, they call it specifically, because they handle it separately, image URLs. You can add headers and footers, which is why it's kind of got that little Tribunal Tactics at the bottom. That's actually a footer that just gets added. And then you could add color options. You may notice the left-hand side of this message has a little blue strip. These messages can be colored. Every single one of them, a message component embed, can be any color you want can show up there. I had a passenger. Okay. Last one is message components. Message components give you a little bit more of that flexibility I just showed you, where it's like you can put some menus in there. You can do some drop-down choices. Some more information of where you say, I want to attack this person. And you send back a message that says, here's a bunch of options. Do you want to use your sword? Do you want to kick them? Whatever. Okay, so I wanted to show a little bit of example code here. I know I only put a couple in because there's a lot of really good examples already for these libraries. This is using Skia. And so in Skia, I had a tooltip in the screenshot. Sorry about that. What I'm doing here is that template at the beginning where I'm asking the controller to go get me a bitmap, and I'm passing in a const. That const is literally just the name of a PNG. Because what I'm doing in most of these games is building like a template of a bunch of different images that are all kind of standalone PNGs that are hanging out in a place where this can access it. And then I composite all of that together to create a final image that's a lot more dynamic and you could change things around. So here I'm getting if there's a player profile image, I'm going to go download it from Discord, or I'm just going to go get my default one that I use. And Skia uses what's called a canvas. So that SK canvas, you pass in one of these bitmaps to it. And so the really cool thing for these canvases is then they've got some really simple things of creating a point. Obviously, they call it they namespace everything SK, so it's SK point. And so you can draw other pieces at different points with different rectangles and different things like that. That little resize player was just changing the rectangle size to be 150 by 150 pixels. So it's kind of going back to the old school of actually rastering everything out, but they've given some really good APIs that are really simple to use. Skia is also really cool because it's not just image compositing. You can draw shapes, you can draw arches and circles and splines and all sorts of stuff. So if you are more of like fancy graphics programmer, you could get pretty low level and draw some really cool stuff. All at runtime. This is all done at memory, and it's all done on the CPU. So you don't have to have a GPU. So you can run this on like a Amazon EC2 instance. That's like one of the T1 micros or whatever, and it'll draw it just fine. More example code. So this is the Discord client and how they set it up. So at the top here, I've got where it creates a client. You have to put in some config. If you're not familiar with how Discord bots work, they've got a lot of options there. There's things that are called gateway intents. It's just the way that they lock down and try to protect their own players or their own users from having data breached or stuff stolen or leaked out or whatever. So you set up your intents. This is all done via the developer page on Discord. Also, by the way, become a Discord developer. It's free and it's super fast. And it's developer.discord.com. Very easy. And they've got pretty robust API documentation. So here I create a new Discord socket client because I told you it's a WebSocket that's going to be listening for things. Then I just have a whole bunch of places here where I'm adding to the override of call ready async when it's ready. When a message comes in, this is all event driven. So you want to have these event handlers that are all registered to that event. So you're going to receive messages, / commands, that a modal has been submitted, that an interaction has been created, which is a fancy way to say that you messed with one of the modals. And then a message command executed. These are those drop-down lists and things like that. Plus, you also want to be able to disconnect and clean up for yourself. So after you've created your client and you're all ready to start doing things, I have an example here at the bottom of actually sending something to a player. This library is really great because you can send pretty much to any object you can get. So you can get a text channel, you can get a voice channel, you can get a role, you can get a user. Any of these objects, they all have the same API where you can send a message or you can send a file if you want to do like the file stuff. I don't do files. This is a game, not a utility. But you can send all these things to any one of these objects, including channels. So this is, I passed in a channel ID. I had to parse it because I keep everything in strings. Everything in Discord, this is different per, Slack is all string-based and Teams is enums for some reason. But for Discord, everything is a U long, an unsigned long. So if you get a channel ID, it's just this really long string of numbers, player ID, or I'm sorry, user ID, long string of numbers. So you go get the channel. In this one, I'm sending an image to the channel. So I get the embedded image. This is a little helper function that I wrote where I could pass in the image URL, the title, the description, and then I also have my own localization. And that gets back the embed. And then I send the message with passing that embed in. So it's just really as simple as getting the channel and then using the API to send the message asynchronously. All right, where are we at now? We are at demo time. So I've talked about it. I think the best way now for us to move forward is for you guys to see this thing in a live fire exercise.
Absolutely. Okay, everybody, this is your chance. If you are in the GGDA server, get into the voice channel. Mr. Tony Def, Mr. Button Hat himself will be helping set up the game. And I'm going to shift out of the presentation display and we will go into the game mode. So give us 1 second. We'll transition and be right back. And you can get in voice now. Transitioning now.
Let's go.
Okay, so we have the game set up. You might be getting some feedback from me. You will be hearing the GGDA voice channel. We're all planning and scheming. Button Hat is setting up the game right now. So you can see the Tribunal Tactics image. What do we got the parameters for the game, Button Hat?
Parameters for the game are not to be seen at the moment. As soon as everyone is added, they will see parameters for the game. I am in the works for that. There's Andrew. Works for that. little bit of echo there.
You still have time in the audience if you want to go ahead and jump in to get into the voice channel. I think right now we're at 5 or 6 players. Obviously, you can handle a whole bunch. And we've got our own Siege speaker, Ian Schreiber, back as part of the game.
Good to be here.
Can't forget Tim.
Watch, he knows how to improv all kinds of dangerous situations.
Make sure that. All right, and Ilya as well. So everyone should see the channel. Is this everyone who will be joining?
Yep, we'll go with this. You want to play too, or can you, Button Hat?
Oh yeah, I'm in as well.
Oh, excellent.
I started it.
GM
So
advantage. All right, generating game map.
That was just me trying this thing out.
Yes.
All right,
there
so
we
we
go.
all see the map. The GGDA is nice and off by itself up in the upper right, and everyone else is congregated together to pound on each other.
Yep.
That's great.
Oh, okay. So I can immediately see that this will be an issue if you've got multiple people with the same icon, like the default one that I have.
That is right. You can spoof
That is
like that.
correct.
Yep. And that's funny because I'd forgotten that for some reason I'm showing one icon here, but I actually use a different icon now. I don't know why it's doing this, Tim, but mine is grabbing my No Armada one where I'm usually the Emperor Alexius. Uh-oh, people are doing things already.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh wow, so your commands are public. Okay, I see that.
Yep. All commands are public. Everyone should see that. Now, if you wanted to,
One thing I don't see here is like the parameters for the game of like when this starts. Oh, I see. 3 minutes.
Mhm.
Okay, so but there's no way to do like a live countdown timer on here.
if I recall, it does set out regular alerts, usually with like 1 minute before end of.
And if you do info on yourself, Ian, you'll see some interesting things.
Oh, okay, yeah. Ian has received an additional action.
Ian's got an extra action. Somebody's trying to be friends with him and not have Ian kill him right off the bat just because they're next to each other. Politicking already. Now, one of the cool things I like that Tim's done with this is we could be doing this in different voice channels. I could be texting to Ian directly about how we're going to gang up on Mr. Button Hat himself.
How is my first question is how is it possible that someone did that? And second, how was I notified? Because I don't see any I didn't get any notification of that at all.
Good one for Tim to write down as a bug notification. You get it. You do have to check info on yourself pretty regularly. It's not a bad idea to do that health check on it, I've noticed.
There was a small notification of giving op to player at site.
Right. It just said my action, but Ian didn't know it was him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Right,
here
it-
now.
It actually
You should have
says
gotten something. Sorry about that.
yeah, it actually says down there it's the only thing I saw was that someone gave an op to 04, but 04 isn't even on the board.
I4. Did it say 04?
It says it says site 04 or 04. No, it's 04.
Maybe I typed 0 instead of 1 when I meant to. You still got the.
And how did you even give that? Like, I thought you had to be like adjacent or within range in order to give.
I am adjacent to you at an angle.
Diagonals count.
Diagonal counts. Wait, but your GGDA is like in D9, and I'm in.
People. I'm also Noble Armada.
Oh, okay. Okay, because
I'm cheating that way.
Andrew, do you want me to give an overview of how the game works?
Yeah.
Okay. So, if you, sorry, I was in the other call, so let me. You guys just started playing. All right. So the game is in phases. There's a battle phase, and then there's a jury phase. The rules are very simple. What you can do is you can move one cell. That never increases. As always, you can just move one. You can increase your attack range, obviously, and you're going to be spending an op when you do that. Ops are given to everyone at the beginning of the round. You can attack someone with range. You can move. You can increase your attack range, or you can throw your op within range to someone else. And this way, you can get a cluster of multiple people getting. Or one person getting like everyone else's op, so they can move 3 times and kill someone or something like that. Everyone has 3 hit points. Once you've been attacked 3 times, you are eliminated from the game, but you are not out of the game. You will then be moved into the jury. And the jury is when the battle phase is completed, we go into the jury phase, where everyone who's in the jury votes on whoever's left. Whoever gets the most votes gets an additional second op at the beginning of the next turn. And there you go. From there, it's just everyone scheming with each other.
Yeah. Yeah, it feels very diplomacy, except that none of us are actually scheming.
We should be scheming. That's the fun that we're
Not quite
avoiding
yet.
right now. Because right now, I should be scheming with the GGDA.
Right. It's also unclear, like.
Attack range.
Yeah, it's also unclear for me, like, when a new turn starts, what's going on. Do I have an op or not, or how many do I have?
Okay, so good question. So you'll see that this once the phase is ended, I'll do the phase command here, and it's going to tell you how much time is left in the phase.
Okay, 6 seconds.
Okay, so when this ends, if you set the cooldown to 0, the next phase is going to start right away. So the cooldown's at 0, so it went by really quick. But if we scroll back through, you'll see the battle phase is complete. The next phase starts right now, and there's no members of the jury yet. So if there's no jury, we don't do the jury phase. We just go right back into the battle phase.
Okay, so what? Okay, so it looks like I'm a little confused about a few things.
I'm here to help.
Because in the first turn, I increased my range twice, but I'm showing up as only having done it once. And then somehow
when you increased your range, did you see the actual attack range increase show up twice? Because if you do something,
not give me any feedback on what I was doing.
Okay, have you already gone so far this phase?
I don't know. How would I know?
Did you do all right, we'll do /info.
Okay.
This is how you know. Do /info.
Okay.
And it's going to send you a DM. You're going to get a direct message from Tribunal Tactics with your info.
Okay, so health damage 2 ops 1. Okay, so that tells me that I have not done this yet. But in the last turn, though, I'm talking about. Like, I apparently got an op shared with me, at least I think I did, but when I took 2 actions, it looks like only one of them was taken, and then I was told that I was being given another action, and I did stuff, and it didn't give me any feedback on whether that, like, succeeded or failed or anything like that, but apparently nothing else went off.
Okay. So it should be giving you feedback. If it didn't, that is a bug. It's not part of the design.
Okay.
Also, if everyone's doing actions at the exact same time, Sometimes and this is one of the tricks of doing a game where the state is in the stream. You may have to go back up and see, wait, did that actually work? Because it does take a second. Well, you do the command, I receive the information.
Yep.
Go ahead.
Yeah, okay. I'm seeing now it's like there's just a lot of noise in the channel.
Right, because everyone's going fast right now.
Right.
Where in the original design of this game is for the battle phases to be a lot longer, like 3 hours, 12 hours, 24 hours. Give everyone plenty of time to steam and then do things.
More diplomacy-like.
Yeah, I can see that. Although I've seen diplomacy itself played with like 5-minute rounds, it's interesting. So.
And in the create game option, you get to decide how long you and your friends want to play for. Right. If you want to do, 90-minute rounds or whatever.
Yep. I'm wondering if this is something where threading would help to reduce the noise and allow for more chatter.
Totally possible. And that's why I'm getting lots of good feedback from you guys playtesting it of like, it'd be better if it was in a thread. That way I get mentioned. Or do you just want to get mentioned when stuff happens to you? In previous iterations of these games, I've found that like, if I mention you too much, people just will mute the channel because it's just too much.
Right.
Oh, look at you. Where are you?
Okay, so I just infoed myself. It tells me I have 1 opt, but I also see in the channel that I was given another one. So that does not appear to have happened.
You will. So if it's successful, there's going to be a big picture that says so-and-so gave an opt to you. If it wasn't successful, they're going to get a DM that says you don't have an opt to give.
Okay, so that was in... Okay, you're getting a so you get a DM when you give an invalid command. That's what's going on. All right.
That's right. And I started doing it that way because I found that players were hesitant to try slash commands if their failures were going to be on Front Street.
Right.
So I'm showing that failures file now to everybody in the stream.
Yep.
And now I'm going back to the main game channel.
Yeah. The challenge for me is that I've got a lot of Discord channels in my sidebar. And the GGDA one is actually more than a screen length down from my DMs. So going back and forth between this and my DMs is really obnoxious.
Yeah, but it's very easy how Discord lets you just move it up and move it right back.
Yeah. I guess I can. All right.
No problems. Andrew's got answers.
How is the GGDA not your #1 Discord channel, everybody?
Actually, my #1 Discord channel is the one that's on the bottom, not the top, but...
You confuse me.
All right, there we go. Okay. Is no one else doing anything? Oh, here we go.
I did my actions really quickly. It's very interesting how the chess movement is kind of in there. Because if you go back to a corner to try and defend, you can get easily trapped and ganged up on.
Yeah, I feel like movement seems like a not a huge thing in this game, just because you can just increase your range instead.
Right. And the best... Oh, I'm out? Thanks, dude.
I'm gonna knock Tim out of the game.
Oh, dang.
Nah, I figured we'd have Tim show off the jury side of the game.
Yeah, I get to vote. Guess who I'm not voting for?
I figure as much. I think I'm going to be joining you shortly.
Ian, remember to hit flash match, not this match. There you go.
So yeah, playtesters so far have said that this is like a cross between chess and Battleship. I thought that was fun.
Actually, that'd be kind of cool. Where it's like a anonymous of where people are or something like that on the map.
Mhm.
Like a fog of war.
Yeah, that might actually be kind of pretty
Oh
cool.
no! Well,
Get a little bit of
I said I'd
like,
be joining
yeah, I can
shortly.
kind of see everybody,
The Georgia
and
Game
like you
Devs
just
are
increase your
working on
range to run away. Increase your range to run away. And
So
then
this is something that's
attack
going
them.
on in. Okay. Sorry. So this is something that's going on in real time, right?
That's right. There's a tick on the server.
Okay, so if like two players are in range of each other, they both have 1 life left, and they try to attack each other, it's just going to be whoever gets the command typed in first.
That's right.
Okay, interesting.
It's an RTS with a Twitch component.
All right.
Although I have been trying to get as much Twitch out of it because playtesters have been like, if it's going to be Twitchy, why am I playing it in Discord? Why is it not just a normal game?
Mm.
Because the idea being that this could be something that you could do asynchronously over multiple hours. But once again, I'm trying to leave those options in for players to create their own time limits.
Mm.
But yeah, the increased range runaway move is that's a pro tip right there.
Now we need to gang up on HDI Andrew so that he can show the vote mechanic.
That should show off the vote mechanic here shortly with the 2 of us who've already been
Yeah, I'd like HDI
eliminated.
Andrew to show it off as an actual participant in it. So I've shown them HDI Andrew. I haven't shown HDI Andrew moving, so maybe I should move and do that stuff too. Remember, they're really only seeing my version of it.
Mm-hmm.
How long did you set the vote for?
Vote rounds are 2 minutes.
Okay. All right. So here we go. There's 2 jury members.
Oh, there we go.
The 2 of us. We've got 2 minutes to go.
Vote for Georgia Game Devs. Vote for Georgia Game Devs.
So if all the votes get in, does the jury phase end early, or does it still tick down on the timer?
That's something I should probably. Well, no, it's still going to tick down to the timer because if you know that you're safe for like 3 hours, it would probably make you mad if it started 10 minutes later.
Yep, I can see same thing with battle phase. Like if no one has any ops left, I can see that as an option. Like you wouldn't want that with like 24-hour games, phases, but you might want to do that for like 5-minute phases.
I can always add it as an option.
Yeah.
That's a good idea. But yeah, in playtesting this, I'll be in the middle of a meeting and then I'll realize that I've been attacked and I haven't moved yet, and there's only like 2 minutes left to a 12-hour round. Okay, so voting.
So okay, the vote happened, but it didn't say what the vote result was.
That's very weird. It should have told us the battle phase started.
The voting phase is still going, I believe, at this moment.
Someone
okay.
just used the map. You're right.
Oh, okay. Never mind. Okay.
This is a nice way to keep your opponents on their feet.
Another confusing thing. Yeah. All right.
And Justin, did you get a DM that said that your vote is recorded for whoever you voted for?
That's correct.
Okay, good.
11 more seconds.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting that at the end of the battle phase, 2 people typed phase at the same time, and it just kind of spammed the channel with it.
Oh no!
Oh, no.
So yeah, there's if it's a tie, then no one won.
Okay.
You guys are in Georgia. You should know all about votes.
So is range? So is range a range? So range is just total number of squares including diagonal.
That's correct.
Okay.
I was going to implement hexagons, but then I was like, nah, great it is.
Oh, that's annoying. mistakes were made. Although, I don't know.
I'm going to go ahead and type in something I can't do just to show folks what happens.
Yep. So you should be getting an invalid target message DM to you.
Yep. But it's still showing up in the main.
Hey!
It is still showing. So when you use a slash, and this is just kind of a conceit of the platform, when you use a slash command,
Yeah.
you only have 3 seconds to respond to a slash command before it throws an error saying that the app or the bot timed out. So you have to respond before you actually know if anything is valid, because checking all that stuff takes more time than just the response on the network. So,
Any thoughts to having the command be something that you issue by whispering it to the direct messaging it to the bot instead of typing it in a global chat room?
we could do it, but then you'd have to tell it what channel you're in, what game you're in, because this thing handles multiple games at the same time. So it would need to know more about you. But that's an interesting idea to play with.
Well, if you were, I guess if you restricted players to one game that they're in at a time and you recorded who they were and you knew. But you're right, if you were in 3 different games simultaneously, then you'd have to tell it which game.
That's right. And you might be in games on multiple Discord servers, too.
Right.
We have a late joiner.
Time to vote. Should we vote for the same person, Justin, so we can see the winner?
Sure. Vote for. We can also help to finish off HDI Andrew.
Sure, vote for Ian. Feel like a Mary Poppins. Votes for women. Step in time.
Believe in love.
Well, D3 and F7 can both kill H3.
What?
Well, H3 is basically dead right now.
What?
But H3 actually hasn't done anything for most of the game, so.
I kept giving you up.
Yeah. I never got them.
Yeah, you have to be
Additionally,
within.
there's a new target.
Oh, hey, someone just added another player.
More people jumping
Wait,
in.
did another player just join in the middle of the?
Yep.
Is that allowed?
I have late joins on at the moment. It's going to become an option.
Okay, that seems like an unfortunate thing to happen in late game.
Yes.
Hey, everyone.
It's like pro wrestling. The fresh player comes in from the locker and wipes out the ring.
Yeah. Except in this case, that person is starting with nothing built up.
But they are
That's
right next to another player.
Yeah, that's true.
It is still voting phase.
Yep.
So hopefully you get Andrew. Hopefully you were getting DMs telling you that it was the wrong phase.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm realizing that I have DMs turned off on the HDI Andrew account, but on GGDA. So that's why I was just testing.
I see.
And there you are. There's
because
Ian
I turned
receiving
off notifications for the live stream.
Right.
So I'm not getting the notifications on the one I'm streaming, just on the other one. Oh well.
So Ian, if you do an info on yourself, you should see that you have 2 ops now.
Okay, let's see. Nope.
No?
It says 331. This does say that I got it, but let me try info again. Nope, it still shows me at 1.
Okay. That is a bug. I will look into that. Actually, I have the server logs right now. you'll look at the server logs.
All right.
Apparently, I have notifications turned off somewhere else. I got to figure out.
Was it the text and images app
I've
settings?
got that working fine this time.
Okay.
Okay, one of the cool things about the way I wrote this as well is I'm going to save the simulation state and I can load it back up later to find out what happened.
Mm. "18 seconds.
I think we can go through one more phase, and then maybe Andrew will pause it and go back to finish up the slide deck.
Sounds good.
Oh, GGDA attacked just 1 second too late.
Oh, well. I thought I'd do the sneak attack there at the end.
Yeah, I was thinking about that and how you might support that, but you really need to watch the time carefully.
Yep. I should have it run on my phone, too. All right. After the jury phase, we'll get Button Hat to go ahead and pause. And a creative genius. Good having you in the game. Glad you could join and try it out.
Yeah.
I know you've got an active Discord, so it used to be fun for your users too. Talking to Tim, I could see this being great for folks who are working to build their community in their Discord. If it doesn't end up pissing off everyone hating each other, now that they've killed each other a few times. But I'm of the opinion even games like Diplomacy bring people together.
I was gonna say, like Diplomacy as a friendship ending exercise.
I love everybody I've ever played Diplomacy with, except England.
I was gonna say Diplomacy, Mario Party. There's a few friendship enders out there.
I think Diplomacy is definitely the number one use case for that, though.
But it's always so funny because you're upset because they stabbed you in the back just one round before you planned to stab them in the back.
I think part of it's also just how abstract it is. Like, the Game of Thrones board game has a lot of the same mechanics, but it doesn't have that friendship ending capability, and I think part of that's just because it uses this IP. So it's like, yeah, you stabbed me in the back, but you're Starks. What did I expect? When it's like, oh, I'm Germany, you're England, it's like, it's more abstract. It's like, oh, the green player stabbed me in the back, but that's you. There's no role playing here.
All right, if the players want to hang out here, we'll be back after the rest of the presentation. So let me get that presentation set up again. We'll transition to that and be right back. All right, we should be back. So go
Hi,
ahead and take it away again, Tim.
Yeah, so that was really fun playing with everyone. Pause the game. They can go back to it here shortly. But all right, next slide here. So let's just talk about what are some benefits of doing games like this. The first one, just right on top, is it can improve community engagement. In Discord, you get rewarded for engagement, for people coming together, there for how many are actively chatting with each other, for how many are actively interacting with bots and things like that on there. And so stuff that is normally locked behind the low-level nitro tiers in Discord, they just start to unlock as you start to hit these engagement numbers. So that's just a good one for anybody who's trying to grow their community. Also, if you've got a cool game in there that with some fun people to play with, that will attract more people to your community. So, if you're some creative who would like to just kind of raise your profile, this is another way to attract more people to your community. Also, there's another one which is you could be monetizing this in your Discord server. So Discord has this earn money as a Discord creator where they have subscriptions. And you can set up a subscription for X number of dollars a month, and you can put features and content behind subscription levels. So you might have a really cool game, but you want people to monetize. So like, hey, if you give it away for free to people who are boosting you with Nitro, or let them purchase a subscription. So it's just another way that you can kind of get your community going and maybe monetize it. And so I'll leave you with some learnings. I already talked about some of these as we were doing the demo or playing the game. But in the playtesting I've done so far, the very first thing is when a player does something in your game, slash command, or they're choosing a drop down in one of the components or whatever, clicking OK in a modal, you need to respond to that as quick as you can. You only get 3 seconds, and like a good second and a half is going to be eaten up by transit time both ways. So if you don't respond in time, it's going to give a big red, and I'm sure people have seen that before. It's like a red thing that says that the command did not respond in time, or something to that effect. I found that when players see that, instantly they don't trust anything else is going to happen, and they'll just lose all faith in your game, and they'll never play it again. Another thing is design your game experiences to be the least twitchy. If you're making a game just for yourselves, make it as twitchy as you want. But if you're trying to go for broader appeal, I found mentioning people, having them, requiring them to stay on top of that channel is just not what they want. Most people belong to dozens and dozens of Discord servers. So, and they're also probably talking to their friends, or they're doing work in another server. So if they have to keep refinding your server with a ping and then look at the channel, it's just going to take away from the experience. So try to find that good balance. Also, DMs. This was one of the first games game designs I was experimenting with. I put everyone's information right in the stream, and players did not like that. They wanted info about themselves, or if a slash command, if they were trying to do something illegal, not that the command failed, but it was an illegal operation of your game. They wanted all that stuff just sent through a DM in the bot. That way, they could try things out. They could explore and try to find the seams or whatever, and not have the social stigma of, oh, look, you were trying to kill me, but you're too far away. Well, So, DMs as much as you can. And that's it. Thank you all for playing or watching the stream and hanging out. If you want to find me on Discord, I am Tim of the North, no spaces, or ATL Game Dev on the site formerly known as Twitter.
All right. Great stuff, Tim. Much appreciated. So, a couple quick questions. What really gave you, you're doing a lot of game dev anyway. Why did you say, I'm going to do a game on a platform I haven't tried and has no obvious monetization, and it's going to be for a whole bunch of people, so we're going to have to do a whole bunch of player feedback and play testing?
Great question. So, some good friends of mine had a studio that built a fantastic game. It was really a good game, and unfortunately, they ended up going under. And it had nothing to do with the quality of the game. The game was fantastic. Their funnels for the game were great too. Retention was very high. So when they got players, they kept them. Unfortunately, and especially in the mobile space these days, getting people to install anything is the hardest it's ever been, and I don't know if it's going to get easier. Hopefully it'll get easier because there's lots of games that we want to make. But especially mobile games, it's really hard to get them to install them. So in my thinking, it was like, well, where is everybody? There's a lot of people. We're more online than ever. We're more connected than ever. Where is everybody? Why aren't they installing things? And that's when it kind of dawned on me, like, there's a lot of people already in Discord. And then it just kind of became, this is a side project. I just work on this on the weekends. So it became like an exercise in game design and development of like, can I make a game that you play via a chat app? Like, that seems like a tall order. And I started chipping away at it probably in April. So it took between April and now for me to go through several different designs. And I think I finally landed on a good one based on all the failures that I've already gone through.
Excellent. Remember, all you jammers, when Game Jam time comes along, everyone's spending all their time on Discord anyway. Make your game in Discord to begin with. Get it going right there.
Yep.
So, theoretically, what's the upper limit to players in a Discord game?
Great question. I think the limit really is going to come down to your visuals of how you're telling people about state. The way that I put this game together, it's in one channel, but that's just a choice I made. You could potentially create like a category and have a bunch of different channels that were all like maybe different continents in a world or something like that. The upper limit comes into how you can make it meaning, because at this point it's only going to be static 2D images. If you can composite videos together, that takes longer, but like compositing videos together, that's probably better for like recaps or like starting a new thing. But yeah, Discord, it's got scalability on their side. It's handling all that traffic. So if you had 10,000 players in a single game, they're having to deal with that to deliver that to your server. So I think that's probably your upper limit, is like, how do you make sense of, like, if you want to do an MMO or something, how would you make sense of that in a way that you could have everyone in the same channel or split up into different channels be able to understand it and see each other?
No, I love it. And it's funny because this brought two things to mind. One, back when I was still doing the vampire game long, long ago. Well, actually, it's shortly after finishing the vampire game. Our friends over at Blizzard, long before it was Activision Blizzard, came out with Battle.net. And a lot of vampire players love to go in there just to do vampire politicking. You'd have all these little areas just of them doing vampire politicking. So I just love the idea that you could have a server devoted to endless amounts of politicking on all sorts of different levels. And the idea of how this handles asynchronous, us RTS designers have always wanted a way to have asynchronous play work, or strategy games in general. It's so hard to do asynchronous and have it work. And if a player drops out, that messes up everybody. And something like this can be a really fun way to do that, where you do your turns when you can. If you don't do them, oh well, not big deal. And then other folks are probably going to support you for being one of the weaker ones. So it's a neat way to merge those issues. All right, lots of fun. I think we're going to jump back over. We went past over an hour on this. So we're going to jump back into the server, and I'm going to get revenge on that Georgia game dev guy who killed me. So,
Sounds good.
Thank you, everyone, for joining. Thank you, Timothy. Great presentation.
Thank you very much. This was a lot of fun, and yeah, happy to talk more if anyone reaches out.